So basically, what that means is finding an existing building that can be repurposed into a different use. One of the biggest trends is taking a building that might be office or a motel and converting that into apartments or efficiency units that can provide the market with affordable, housing options.
One of the bigger trends is office into apartments, but now guys are finding ways to change larger office space into smaller, more efficient units. Again, because of COVID, people are changing the way, they're leasing up their space. A lot of the times now that people can work from home, they don't need as much office space. So smaller space seems to be what more tenants are looking for.
What you're seeing a lot of is taking an older building style that is very systematic and creating more of a communal working space for all of the tenants, where each tenant might have their section, but in the middle floor in the common areas you have coffee bars, different things to make it more attractive for younger companies to come in that thrive off working together. So there's definitely a mix of companies that will just continue to work from home, but there's a lot of small companies that are being created that still need that work camaraderie.
Right.
And these buildings are getting adapted to, service those companies on the outskirts of the city, where housing's a little bit more affordable, rents might be a little bit more affordable. And we're also seeing a lot of office buildings getting converted to life science, lab, data center storage. There's all different things that are going on in the adaptive reuse space.
Well, it's a very specialized market, I would say, and product type. Most guys, when they think of commercial, they don't usually think about apartment buildings or residential over 6 units.
Right.
But that's where the game really does change. And in selling a product like that, it changes as well. You're not looking for your typical owner user that's going to, buy it, live in one of the units, and hypothetically have, 2 other tenants help him pay the mortgage. This is more of a business, and you're gonna have to run it, operate it, and it takes, a certain kind of guy to do that.
I think any, buildings or structures in specific locations that can be bought at a certain price per square foot, where, like in your circumstance, the acquisition cost of the building, the way it sits, the location, the land included, plus the construction costs of creating those 33 units, all of that math needs to make sense for the investor. So what I think for our next generation, what we're going to be seeing a lot is the malls, these big box stores. There's so much land there, and a lot of these municipalities I think are going to have to adapt and allow apartments to be built on these lots, where you might see apartments up top and then retail on the bottom. It makes a lot of sense where you already have retail there. If they're not being occupied, then maybe they can be repurposed into high-rise apartments with retail on the bottom. You're seeing a lot of office buildings being built that are on large plots of land. There's typically not a lot of homeowners that live around the outlying property line. So you're seeing a lot of big-time developers buying office buildings, and then they're going to get apartments permitted right next door. There's a lot of examples of that going on outside of Boston, and you're going to continue to see that in areas like Rhode Island, up into New Hampshire, where people are moving because Boston's very expensive. A lot of people are understanding that they can move and work from home and have a more affordable rent, save more money, and maybe have a better lifestyle if they move out of such an expensive area. So that's a big problem that I think everybody's trying to solve, is how can I provide quality, affordable housing to some extent and still make some money doing that.